Zo, goedemorgen.
Hey, goedemorgen allemaal.
Ik zie dat Ton en Siepel er al zijn. Als jullie hallo willen zeggen in de chat, dan weten we ook dat jullie aanwezig zijn. Ik zal de webinar leiden vandaag. Martijn die zal de chat beheren, dus als jullie vragen hebben, dan wees vrij om ze te stellen in de chat. En dan zorgt Martijn dat ze bij mij terechtkomen. We hebben nog 1 minuutje wachten. Mensen nog even de kans geven die wat later zijn. En dan kunnen we zo van start.
Top. Ik zie nu in de chat Ton is aanwezig. Maybe we should switch to English because I see someone from Spain. Good morning,
Sure.
Alejandro. I think if I pronounce that correct. And Sibao is here from Flicked.
Okay, sure. Let's switch to English. So today we'll be discussing how to prepare customer service or any other department with AI agents. Sibo from Flicked has been so kind to let us use their website today. So we have a real life use case. We always try to base the demo in the webinar off a real life use case. We'll be going over that today. We'll be making an agent, and obviously feel free to apply the process to your own use case, your own company. And if there's any questions, absolutely do put them in the chat. I say if everyone that's here is ready, then we can get started. Let me just switch my platform to English. There we go. So I'll be showing you the Watermelon platform and how to make an agent. So let's start with that. There we go. I think you can see my screen now, Martijn.
Yeah, correct.
Perfect. All right. So welcome everyone. This is the Watermelon platform where if you create an account, you'll get access to the software where this is the homepage, but in the agents tab, you can actually go ahead and create AI agents. Now, the way you do that is by following 3 simple steps. So we are a self-service platform, also a no-code platform, which means it's very useful for organizations without a massive team of developers to program something themselves, but still want to be able to use AI agents without the need to really code or have a lot of technical knowledge. So you do that by following 3 steps. We're going to start by building an agent. We'll focus on building an agent for Flick today. And then we'll also be able to ask it some questions in the tester. You start by, of course, adding some knowledge, adding some instructions, but afterwards you also need to test it, which is where you'll play either the customer, the lead, or whichever user you have in mind. Could also be an internal use case. Ask it some questions, fine-tune it when necessary, and eventually you can activate it by connecting it to a couple of different channels, which at the moment are a chat widget for any web environment, which can be a website, can be your mobile app, it can be a platform, a software system. And we've also got a meta integration, which means you can also put your agent on WhatsApp, Facebook, and Instagram DMs. So with that said, let's go ahead and get started by go ahead and making an agent. Now you can create an agent from scratch by pressing the big green button here. We've also got some templates for varying use cases. I think today let's focus on a customer service use case, and we're going to just go ahead and select this template, so it'll just be a little bit quicker. You start off by, of course, naming your agent. Martijn, any creative ideas for a name today?
Let's call the agent Paul today.
Paul. Let's go with Paul. Okay. Next to that, you can also select a main AI model on which Paul, in this case, needs to run. For this, you've also got reasoning models, so models that think a bit deeper before answering and can handle more complex questions. And you've also got quicker models that don't think as deep, but are just faster. So depending on your use case, you can pick a model that applies to that. I think today, let's just select 4.1. It's pretty all around. And we can go ahead and create Paul. You can obviously give Paul a face as well, but I think for this demo, that won't be necessary. So we're going to go ahead and create poll. Now, normally what you'll see next will be empty, but since we have selected a template already, there is already some information filled in. So basically, we're going to go through the menu step by step, starting at the domain knowledge, going then to sources. I'm actually going to use a different template and edit it a little bit because I think this template is a little bit more detailed. We'll go with agent poll this time. And put them on 4.1. Let's create them. This template is a little bit more detailed, so I'll just save us some time today. Yeah, so essentially you're going to go through the menu from the top to and work your way down. We're going to start at the domain knowledge, which is the main prompt and instructions you're going to give your agent. So who is Paul? What is he meant to do? How is he meant to do it? Then maybe the most important step is you're going to start adding sources. You need to obviously add your own data from which your agent needs to pull data and answer your customers from. Then we can also prepare for some situations, including when it needs to maybe hand over conversations to humans, because this kind of solution works well as a agent first layer that can handle most of the repetitive stuff 24/7, and if necessary, hand over to a human. You can also connect different systems via actions. I'll come back to that in a bit. And instructions is for fine tuning. So rough overview, let's get started. So in this case, there's already some information filled in, which we need to personalize for our use case. Now, as I said, today we'll be using Flicked as a use case. Flicked are a legal aid company for personal injury. So in this case, we'll say you are Agent Paul. You work as a customer service representative at Flicked. Next up, your main goal is to answer questions from just customers or aspiring customers from Flicked in a friendly, fast, and clear manner. You combine a service-oriented mindset with a commercial eye for opportunities. Now, for this case, in this use case, it won't be necessarily to have a commercial eye for opportunities. It will be more my assumption, but Sibel, correct me if I'm wrong. Service-oriented mindset with an empathetic approach to people that have endured personal injury. An expert in everything related to, let's say, personal injury legal aid. If someone asks a question outside of your area of expertise, you politely indicate that you unfortunately can't help them with that. It's also important to put some guardrails in. So if someone asks your agent about what he thinks about Donald Trump, it won't get into a political discussion over that. So you can just put some guardrails like that. Also ask a follow-up question to really understand what the customer needs. I think is important sometimes. You can give it a little bit of information about the communication style. So in this case, informal, approachable. Maybe in this case, it would be a little bit more formal and matching the brand of, in this case, Flicked. And decide with a tone of voice of Flicked. Not too informal, but always friendly and approachable. Sometimes made a subject-related joke. I think in this case, since we're dealing with personal injury, that won't be as appropriate. So we'll remove that. A couple different instructions here, including you always respond in the language the user addresses you in. So our agents are language agnostic. They can basically speak, I always say all languages. There's about a couple thousand languages in the database. There's probably some language somewhere it doesn't speak, but I would say every language that we can name, it will speak. A couple of instructions on how to approach a conversation. Obviously, feel free to apply this to how you guys communicate, your style, and also your area of expertise. In this case, let's go ahead and save this instruction. And what I'll do next is just add some information about the company itself. So let me just find some from their About Us page. And and just copy that into the companies section over here. So the agent also has some context about the organization it's working for. In this case, it's Dutch. Also doesn't matter in which language you instruct your agent, whether that's Dutch, English, Spanish, whatever. It will understand everything. Next up is the most important bit. We're going to obviously start adding sources to our agent's brain, which we will use to answer customer queries. We've got a couple different features for that, including the web crawler here. So what I'm going to do is look up the website. There's a couple different things you can do here. You can add your sitemap, which is an overview of all the URLs behind your website. You can also add your root domain, which is a portion of your website, and you can also add single URLs. So maybe apart from your own website, there's also some external websites that are trusted sources for your customers. You can also upload those. In this case, I will be uploading the sitemap from Flicked, so we get an overview of all the information on their website, and Paul can use that to answer all sorts of questions about legal aid, what is possible legally, basically anything they have on their website. Could take us a minute up, depending on how many URLs they have, and they have 321. So let's go ahead and crawl those, and that's basically a quick way of loading up all the information on your website into the brain of your agent. While it's crawling,
anybody in the chat that has a question about the web crawler or adding sources? Please let us know in the conversation, in the chat, and then we can answer it.
Yeah, I'll give it a minute for people to answer questions. Anything?
No, I think everything is clear.
Okay, cool. Next way of adding data to your agent's brain is obviously via documents. So if you've got information that is not on either your website or an external website, but you do have it maybe internal documents, any sort of manuals, product sheets, terms and conditions, things like that, you can add that in the document scraper. Obviously, I don't have access to the Flick documentation at the moment, so I'll leave this empty, but you can upload any docs, text, or PDF files into here and scrape those. If you have any information in a different document format, of course, just feel free to convert it into a text or a PDF and upload it here. Next up, we've also got AI search, and you can either disable or enable this. If you enable it, your agent will be able to do searches on the internet to complete its answers. You can give it access to the whole internet. In 9 out of 10 use cases, not recommended because you get more of a ChatGPT answer, and the answer could come from anywhere. And I think the whole point of creating your own agent is that you want to limit it to your own personal sources. But what you can do is work with selected URLs. So if you've got, for example, specific websites which are relevant, which are trustworthy, but maybe change constantly, you can also upload that here, so it is a real-time search and the data is always up to date. If there's no questions, I'll go ahead. There's also some safety filters. Basically, to be AI Act compliant, it's important to instruct your agent on how to handle inappropriate conversations. All of that you can also guardrail with the safety filters. And there's also a handover module. So this is what you'll use if you want the conversation to be handed off to one of your personnel. You can put a policy for within business hours and out of office hours, because obviously with an AI agent, you are available 24/7. But I can imagine you don't want it to forward conversations to you at 11 p.m., for example. And the way it forwards those conversations is based on certain triggers that you can put in, which can be, of course, I want to speak to a human employee. That's obviously a common one. And you can just input here who you want that conversation to be handed over to. It can be to either a user in your account. It can also be to a team, and they can handle the conversation from there. These are also free fields, so you can control basically whatever topics you want the agent to answer and what you want your human employees to answer. So, for example, if you say, "Hey, I don't want my questions about invoices to be answered by the agent. I want those to go to the finance team," then this is a simple way of inputting that and having control over what doesn't get answered by the agent. Okay. Next up, we got actions, which is a little bit more of an advancement, a little bit more of a technical feature, but also really, really cool. So actions allows you to integrate your agent with any external software as long as it has an API. There is some templates here of common software systems, but you can also create a new action with a system of your choice. So if you want, for example, the agent to connect to your CRM, so it can retrieve customer data and use that in its answers, so it can personalize the answers. Or if you want to be connected to your calendar, so it can plan appointments, things like that, you can do that via actions. Now, there's a couple templates here. Let's have a look at the Notion template of how an action like that would look. In this case, there is a template for a Notion knowledge fetch, which is basically Notion's database. And in this case, there is an action here to search pages in databases. So the way this works is you have a trigger which creates an event. In this case, the trigger is when answering customer queries. So when someone asks for a piece of information that is not on our website or not in the document we uploaded, but that does exist in our database, for example, Notion, the agent can then fetch that information out of that system if you make that connection via API calls. Exactly what it retrieves and what it can, which information it can grab from Notion or another database is in your control. So you've got the schema here, which you can edit yourself if you wanted to. And you can say exactly which endpoints or which pieces of data you wanted to grab information from. For example, you can retrieve customer emails, but not their payment information, things like that.
Yeah, there's a question in the chat. Ton asked the question, can you connect your company movie here also?
Company what?
Your company movie.
Company movie. What do you mean by that question, Ton?
If the question is that he can take knowledge from a video, then the answer is no at the moment. It cannot read, like for example, YouTube or another video. What you need to do then is transcribe the video. There are a lot of tools for that, and we can help you with that and put the transcription of the text from the movie inside of the brain of the AI agent.
Is that what you meant, Tom? Oh, okay, clear. Yeah. So no, videos cannot be used as a source at the moment. The technology just really isn't there yet. There is some video recognition software, but it really isn't flawless yet. Essentially the technology just needs to get better. When it does get better, it is something we want to implement as well. But at the moment, it's just not good enough to use in a customer service environment. There's just too many mistakes with video and with image.
What of course it can do, Ton, is link to that video. So if somebody has a question about the video, it can answer what is inside of the video, and then you can train it in the domain knowledge. If you want to have more knowledge, click on this link, and then you will get to the video which they can watch.
Are there any other questions about actions? Because it's I know it's a little bit more of a technical feature, and also the possibilities are endless. So if anyone has a question about actions, feel free to put it in the chat. Maybe also good to show you how to create a new action, because there's just a few templates here of common, but I imagine you guys have your own CRM systems that are not in the templates here. What you do is essentially create a custom action. You can upload the base URL of your software system here, including the API key. So this is what you'll find in your system's API documentation. You can add your tokens, your health checks, and that's basically how you connect it. And then the maybe most technical part is to write the schema. So this is, you don't need to program, because the agent will do the programming for you, but you do need to explain to it in the schema when it needs to do what and when it needs to do a call based on which trigger. That is what you describe in the schema. You do need someone with technical knowledge for that specific part. If you don't have that, you can also outsource this to us. But in the schema is basically where you describe when it needs to do which API call. So yeah, that can be retrieve order information when someone shares an order ID, but it can also be check customer information when they share a customer ID or their email or whatever. So if there's no questions about that, I'll go ahead and move on. Yeah, lastly, we've also got instructions here, and this is basically what you use to fine-tune your agent, give it feedback. There's already some filled-in instructions here, for example, about complaints. So yeah, domain knowledge is really what you'll use for overarching instructions, things they need to use in every answer. It will always use the domain knowledge first. And instructions work really well for like specific situations, like specifically if someone has a complaint, then you do X, Y, Z. And that's essentially what you do. They see the website's also crawled, so we can start asking it some questions. I don't know if anyone's ever got personally injured and had to have legal aid, but I'm sure Sibel also has some questions to ask Agent Paul. Let me start off easy. I'm going to say, hi, I'm Thijs, and who are you? And we'll have a look at what Paul has to say to us this morning. Let's see. Hello, Thijs. Nice to meet you. My name is Paul. Work as a customer service representative at Flicked. How can I assist you today? Are you looking for more information about personal injury claims, or do you have another question? Now, this is where I'll need your creative input. Does anyone have a question they'd like to ask Agent Paul related to injury or legal aid?
Yes, if you can help us here, Sibel, you know, of course, what kind of questions your customers have. Maybe a first one we can ask Agent Paul, Thijs, is what type of accidents or injuries do you handle? I can imagine if I have an injury or if I had an accident, I would like to know if Flick could help me. So I think that would be a first start, which we can build from.
Sounds good. Let's go ahead and ask it. And let's see, thanks for your question. To give you the best possible answer, can you let me know if your injury was caused by a traffic accident, work-related incident, or something else? Are you asking for on behalf of yourself or someone else? In general, Flicked help with a wide range of personal injuries, including fractures, whiplash, burns, cuts, psychological, emotional, injuries from traffic incidents, etc. Do we cover both material damages, such as medical costs? But if you'd like, I can also check if you've been entitled to compensation by taking a personal injury test. Could you tell me a bit more about your situation? Sibel can, of course, correct say if this answer is correct. But let's just go ahead with the conversation. So I'll give it. So you can let me know. Are you asking on behalf of myself? I was in a traffic accident and have multiple fractures.
Sibel also helped us, Thijs. Thanks for that, Sibel. She asked the question, a really good one. Did the injury happen within 3 years? So I think that's the limit where they can help. Filled it in myself. But let's ask it after this reply.
Okay, sure. Let's go ahead. It also asked that question, actually. So thanks for sharing that. I'm sorry to hear. To help you as best possible, when did the accident happen? And was an other party clearly at fault for the accident? You may be entitled for compensation for both material and immaterial damages. Here's how we can help with an overview of what they can do for us. And if you haven't already, please contact us directly. So now we can go ahead
already, should we test it already a little bit, Thijs? Let's say it happened 5 years ago.
It happened 5 years ago, and someone and another party was at fault. So I imagine we're asking this question because you guys only cover if it happened within 3 years. Sibel, is that correct? Let's see, because the accident happened 5 years ago. Let's go ahead. The timing is crucial. In the Netherlands, the standard limitation period, the verjaringstermijn for personal injury, is 5 years from the moment that you became aware of both the damage and the liable party. Few important questions to clarify your situation. Have you already started a claim or sent a formal liability notice to the party within these 5 years? When exactly did you become aware of your injuries? Blah, blah. What you can do if you've not taken action yet is very important to act immediately. The claim may expire if the 5-year period has passed, but there are sometimes exceptions depending on your specific situation. There is also an absolute limitation period of 20 years from the date, but this only applies in special cases. Okay?
Yeah. And you were correct, Thijs. Indeed, the limit is...
All right. Anyone else got a question to ask? Oh, maybe Martijn has another... another idea.
Maybe something. I had a situation in the past where I did something like this, and then they were really fake with keeping me up to date with the case. So maybe a good question is, how will you keep me informed during the process?
Informed about my case during the process. Okay. It's important to stay well informed during a personal injury case. Ask a couple of follow-up questions. This is also something you may want to find. You asked a lot of questions now. That's also the instructions we gave it. But it does answer the question below. You've got a dedicated case handler, which will keep you updated about all important developments and next steps. There's also a secure online portal where you can view your case file at any time via a secure internet application. There's regular updates when the liability is established, damages are inventoried, or compensations claimed, and you can always contact your case handler directly. Pretty good answer, I think. So this is essentially the concept, and what you'll do next is in the tester you can obviously further fine-tune your agent. So we've made a basic version now, simply based off some content they have available on their website. And then from here, there's a couple of things you can do. So with every answer, your agent will share the sources in the backend of where it gets its information from. So here I can see, okay, from these URLs that we uploaded, from exactly these paragraphs is where it got this information from. So yeah, your agent, it doesn't make stuff up. It combines an answer from the sources that you provide. Obviously now it's only got some URLs, but if you also combine that with documents and with an API connection, it will combine an answer out of what it gets from the API, what it gets from document, and maybe from certain links you provide. So that's how you can check for, okay, where does it get an answer from if you maybe want to improve it. Then the next thing is there's also a thumbs up, thumbs down module with every answer. So if I give it a thumbs up here, Paul will remember that he has answered this question correctly and will do it similar in the future. But if I say thumbs down, I will end up in the instruction module. And here I can give very specific feedback per answer, how it needs to improve that answer. And that's basically how you start making Paul even smarter and tailor it more to your needs, essentially.
Thijs, I see somebody joined us just now. Karen, I think, from drumcircle.nl. Can you explain really briefly what we already did?
Yeah, of course. We welcome Karen, by the way. We made Agent Paul. We gave it some instructions. In this case, we made a Paul as a customer service representative for Flicked, which is a legal aid company for personal injury. Essentially we gave it some instructions. We added some information from their website. Also showed how we can add documents as a source and external systems as a source. And now we were just asking it some test questions based on the information we provided. Another question maybe that pops into my head is, how do I know who is liable in a let's go, what kind of thing do I want to discuss? Let's just say a traffic accident again. Sibel, do you have any other common questions you guys get from customers? Otherwise, I'll go ahead and show you the rest of the platform, because I think we already have some good testing questions. And obviously, from here you need to further fine tune it. So you can get a first version of this agent up and running pretty quickly. Obviously, we did it now in about 20 minutes. If you spend a little bit more time on this, it might take you a day or two to create a first version and upload sources and more instructions. And from there, you just need to test, and give it feedback. If you spend another couple of days to maybe a couple of weeks testing, you can get up to pretty high level pretty quickly.
Is it something they have to do on their own, or is it also something we can help with?
Yeah, good question. We also provide an onboarding where you get a customer success manager that will help you through the whole process, from the basics and setting up your account to the test process, fine tuning, giving the right instructions, uploading your sources. So yeah, we guide you the whole way. I see a question.
Sibel asked, how long will this case take? So can you maybe take her a little bit on that? So you already gave the start to Sibel. If you prompt it in 1 or 2 days, you can get a really good basis, and onward from that.
Was it a question we need to ask Paul, or was it a question to us?
Okay, that's a good one.
I think because it's case, I think it was a question to Paul.
Oh, sorry.
So correct me if I'm wrong, Sibel. So how long will a liability traffic accident take, for example? In general, the process for handling liability can take a few weeks to several months to determine liability, depending on how clear the situation is and how quickly the other party or the insurer responds. Once liability is acknowledged, an advance payment for urgent costs can often be arranged within a few weeks. The full settlement of the case, including all damages, can take 3 months to 2 years on average, depending on the complexity and whether medical recovery is still ongoing. There's no strict legal maximum duration for these cases. If you'd like to give more advice about situation, please let me know more details. So, sounds like it makes sense, but I have no, I know nothing about legal aid. But this is essentially in this case where it gets its information from. Yeah, you can see here as well. It's in Dutch, but on average, the case will take between 3 months and 2 years for the full thing, which is also what it quotes here. So I think this answer is correct. So essentially that's the process of creating an agent. After you've tested it, fine-tuned it, you can go ahead and activate it by connecting it to your channels, which can be, like I said before, your web environment, your app, your maybe business WhatsApp account, things like that. And from then you can monitor everything that happens in the inbox here. So this is the inbox where you'll see all the incoming conversations between the end user and the agent. You can see, hey, has everyone been helped correctly? Do I need to take over a conversation? You can also monitor or you can keep track of who's asking which questions. So for example, here I've started up a chat as myself. At one point you can see new conversations that come in as anonymous. But when I start a conversation and I share my name here, it will add my name. This is a relatively new feature to my first name field on the right side. Ask another question, and I have here requested some more information at my email, and it will also save my email to my contact. So this is a way of over time creating a contact with the relevant information. These are obviously some default fields which you will fill in, so browser information, but also first name, last name, email, and phone number. But what you can also do is you can work with custom fields. So I've created some custom fields in my account here. And one of the information I shared was my country, which I shared in the chat here. And then it also filled in my country for me. So what this does is over time, you create a contact and relevant information will be saved to that contact. Next time they come back to the agent and start initiating another conversation, it will recognize the contact based on a cookie that was placed. And next time it could say, hey, Thijs, last time we discussed about doing a High Rocks event in the Netherlands. Are you still keen to do it? Because there's the last few tickets going now. So then it can refer back to that previous conversation, even months later. So the way you can do that is by going to your settings, and then there's a data management thing here called fields, with some default fields, but the most interesting thing is custom fields. So any relevant information you would like to collect from your users, you can do via custom fields, whether that's a client ID, whether it's an order number, but maybe it's also, in this case of Flick, for example, maybe they have a case number that is relevant for them. You can connect a case number to a user, so you know exactly, this is Thijs. Thijs had a case about a traffic accident. This is his case number. He's asked these questions. How can we help him go forward in the future? And then you can switch this on to automate them, so the agent will automatically populate those fields when the information is shared in the chat. So you don't have to fill it in yourself. If I share my case number with the agent, it will connect my case number to my contact. Yeah, so all of that can be done from the inbox. You also manage your communication from different channels here, so you can see exactly, hey, this person came via WhatsApp, via Facebook, via chat, and you can also have a Instagram there as well. You can manage over different teams which you can create, so you can have when a conversation is handed over to the right department, you can see that in the Teams overview, as well as all your different agents here, which I've got obviously a lot. But in your case, you might only have 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 or 5. And you can manage that per agent as well.
How many conversations can the agent handle at the same time, Thijs?
1 billion. It's unlimited. How many you can handle at the same time. Yeah, maybe good to show you as well as the statistics. So okay, well, let's get back to contacts first, because this is also important if you want to maybe export your conversation history, your contact information to maybe a CRM. So if I look up my own contact here, I've got a few, I think, then I can open my contact. I will see my contact information that I've shared in the past filled in, including custom fields, which I have shared. And my previous conversations. So I can also see, hey, this is Thijs. Thijs asked these questions on the 4th of August, shared this information, and you can then export this contact to maybe your CRM or use it from there. So you also don't lose information that was shared in chat. And you can also manage all that from the statistics overview as well. So you've got a statistics overview where you can create reports. You can do reports based on all your agents or specific channels, specific users, and get all kinds of metrics like how many conversations there were, how many were handed off, which automatically gives you a degree of automation, how long it takes for a human agent to pick up those conversations and handle them, how many conversations are within and out of office hours. And you can also work with conversation topics, which you can add to, or the agent can add to conversations. So you can also see exactly, hey, what are people asking? So in this case, over this time, I've had 22 inquiries in my demo account, which the agent is tagged as an inquiry question, or 7 questions about a product, 5 questions about service, etc., etc., etc. And these tags you can obviously make up yourself. Any questions?
No, I don't see any at the moment.
Okay, well, I think I've shown most of what we can show. I hope it's given you a little bit more insight on how to make and manage an agent. Yeah, I think it's pretty straightforward because it's all no code. So and that's also our aim, is that everyone without the need for technical knowledge can create an agent with us. But if you would like to dive into your use case a little bit more, me and Martijn also do one-on-one demos where we can dive into your specific use case and best practices in a one-on-one session. So yeah, feel free to also, maybe Martijn, you can share the link with everyone. If they would like to book that in, then feel free to do that as well. Ton, have a good day at work.
Nice. Karen already said that she's maybe going to do one-on-one with one of us. So looking forward to that, Karen. Then we can work out the agent for your use case, and then we can take it further from there. And I think we got a bit far with the Flicked case. Sibel said that it answered already in a good way. So that is also nice to hear. Sibel, if you need some extra information, or if you want to build it out further in the demo, then give us a sign and then we will pick it up from there. We can wait a few more minutes if anybody has a question right now. Ask us. And otherwise, I think you explained it really clear, Thijs.
Okay. Sounds good. Sibel, thanks for letting us borrow your website as a case. I thank you all for attending. Feel free to let us know if there's anything you can do or you would like to know how exactly this applies to your business, because the beauty but also the difficult part of AI agents is you can go so many ways with them. So I think it's also important to zone in on a specific tangible use case and start simple with that, because so many things you can do with this, then it's also important to remain focused. I'll stop the stream here. Thanks all for attending, and have a great rest of your day, and hopefully see you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.